Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part number 46 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 5 Thracia 776. And in today's episode, we're going to be finishing off this chapter by escaping with pretty much all of our units, except for just a few, so that we can deal with our need to get Xavier all the way up to the escape tile, since he's the furthest away with the least amount of movement. Technically, I could have entirely avoided that by just putting him up here. I wanted to give him some experience points, and we're probably going to give him a little bit through the means of allowing the enemies to come and attack him while he's near the bridge. Especially because the bridge is the only way up here, and the enemies in this chapter do not have any flyers or any units, I believe, that can move across rivers, except for the bandits. I think the bandits can move across the rivers, but the funny thing about that is their desire is not at all to come and attack you. Not at all. They do have a billion hammers, every last one of them, so if you are missing hammers, you know, the thing that we have the most abundant effective weaponry for, you could definitely capture a few or steal a few in order to have some more hammers. Would I do that? Nah. I don't see us using even the rest of the hammers that we have, honestly. And I do thoroughly love and enjoy the fact that this game has a speed up function built in. Just holding the A button, the action button, on the enemy phase will allow their movements to be made quicker, which is great because that's a quality of life improvement that we sort of attribute to modern day. I mean, now people are so, lacking in attention spans that, folks want to play Fire Emblem while being able to skip the entire turn. I think that's silly. What are you playing for? I kind of get it in for the time saving factor, but I also don't get it for the fact that you have to pay attention to what the enemies are doing, where they're going. If you skip their whole turn, and I found myself doing this a lot when I was playing Shadow Dragon, when I would skip the turns, I would have to go back and analyze where they all moved before I'd make my turn, instead of just knowing. I get how it would be a great feature for a game like Radiant Dawn that has million-year-long phases. I totally get it. And I think that it's a worthwhile feature to have if you want it. And there's no reason why the game shouldn't have it. But for me, for most cases, it's not useful. And that's just my opinion of the matter. I did want to give Xavier some more experience points. So it's kind of a bit of a shame that I'm not really doing that so much. But the reason being is just because we don't really need to. There's plenty of chapters left in this game, and where Xavier shines is not really the outside chapters, but more or less the indoor chapters, seeing as he has the full weapon triangle and bows under his possession, and doesn't have to be mounted for any of his weapons. Well, he can't be mounted, but of course that's not what really matters here. So I am going to wait probably a couple of turns and give him a few KOs here and there. But I'm also going to be kind of careful because some of these enemies still do reasonable damage to Xavier, and some of them even double him. For instance, I believe I checked that the Archknight that is heading towards us is capable of doubling Xavier, which means that Archknight does a pretty reasonable amount of damage. We're gonna have to check momentarily here. So what I'd probably want to do with that Archknight is allow Olwen or another one of our units to attack him either on enemy phase or enemy phase tank him, or just slay him on player phase. So we're going to have to check that out right quick. skipping enemy phases is also not conducive to Let's Play or video format content. Yeah, so this guy has a 29 attack and 14 speed. So yes, he is definitely doubling Xavier. Xavier would need 2 points of speed before he would not get doubled. And he is getting hit with 12 damage apiece. So that unit is doing 24 damage. That's kind of a bit much, to say the least. One thing we could do is we could put Xavier down with the Master Axe. Especially because he's going to... Well, I don't really want to do that because there's a lot of sword users here. Alright, so what we could do is make sure that he's not within the range. So we'll move down just once. And we are going to move up the rest of our units here, just getting them out of the way. We don't really have anything else we need to do for this chapter right now. So we're just going to end our phase and let Xavier get a few KOs here and there, get some experience points, especially because he has the scrolls on him. You know, what's the point of him having the scrolls he has if he's not even going to use them? There were a couple of chapters where I had originally planned for folks to get experience points with scrolls, and that's why you'd see them with scrolls on them. And then I just never got around to doing it. That Arch Knight is being awfully smart. Alright, so the bandits are just escaping, which is interesting, because there are still houses that they could take out. Like, for instance, the house we're seeing literally on screen to our left. Why aren't they... Oh, wait, no, that's closed. Never mind. We visited that house. I'm pretty sure... Oh, you know what? We visited every house. They have gone and destroyed every other house. It's just not reasonable to visit every house without using warp, rewarp, or rescue. And that's an awful waste, in my opinion. Alright. Perfect. Very nice level up. That's exactly what we want and need on Xavier. Would like more HP as well, but 38 HP as a base is not that terrible at all. Another level up, but not that great, Xavier. Not that great at all. Considering you have some pretty wildly busted growth right now, especially with the scrolls you have on you. That's a little bit crazy. Yeah. 80% speed. 85% magic. 50% strength. 70% HP. He does have more. I did give him the Hoar scroll. Yep. I love the fact that we gave him less defense. I actually don't want him to grow even a single point defense. It sounds counterintuitive because there are still enemies, as I showed, that can damage him. But it's really about the fact that... Can we hit? We cannot hit the bow knight from here. It's really about the fact that we don't want him to get so high of defense that nobody attacks him. Alright, so movement on you is 11. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12, 13. I'm pretty sure he can still reach there. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, can still reach there. Which, that's kind of a shame. Alright. So we're gonna have to move back pretty much to here with Xavier. And then we can heal up. I think Shroff would be the best for this. He does have a heal staff, so that would be nice to use. Yep, we're just going to escape with a few of our units. So the very next turn, we're going to be escaping. So what we're going to do here is kind of set up a defensive perimeter a bit with our units. We can make sure... Alright, Leaf can actually go right here. No, we have to heal up first. And Misha can rescue Shroff. We can take and drop him. We can put Karen here. Leaf here. Asbel can go right here. And Dean can go right here. So yeah, we are well and away out of the range of that guy now. And of course we'll move here with Olwen. And we're pretty much done for this turn. We can go ahead and get a little bit more experience points. I don't know if they're all going to attack Xavier. It's actually pretty doubtful, except for the ones that can only reach him. If there even be any of those that can only reach him. Yeah, so attacking Leaf, that's kind of to be expected here. And as you can see, Leaf gets a lot in his level ups. Pretty much a full bar of experience points in this mode. Perfect. These guys are not even promoted, but like I've said before in a previous episode, that it's not really about promotion that determines your experience points gain, it's about level. Promotion does count. So fighting promoted units, you will gain more experience points, but a level 1 promoted unit will not give you much more than a level 1 unpromoted. So what it really boils down to is you get more experience points for level than you do promotion. Makes you wonder. I wonder if these bandits are affiliated with either Ulster, Frege, or the Empire. Yeah, I'm almost certain that guy had an Armor Slayer. Pretty nuts that he just did that much damage to Xavier. But that's what triple effectiveness will do. It's interesting the take and the difference between this and Genealogy, because in Genealogy, when you have an effective weapon, you just get an automatic critical if you hit. That's how they dealt with effectiveness in that game. And criticals work the exact same way in Thracia as they do in Genealogy, so it's just double attack might. Let's see. I want to check to see if these bandits are affiliated. Nope, they're not affiliated at all. So it's likely, yeah, the thieves are affiliated with the bandits. Very interesting. I wonder why they're escaping in that direction then. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and escape with the rest of our units. And get out of here. This is not really a battle that you would want to prolong anyway, considering that the enemies are far and away faster than you and are reasonably strong. This is one of the more difficult chapters in the game, especially in vanilla, and that reason is specifically due to the fact that on vanilla, you don't control where your units are positioned. I don't really like that. Some folks will say it's you're not playing true or purest Thracia, and that's totally fine if you believe that way. I don't really care. In all reality, the fact of the matter is that this is a quality of life improvement that they would definitely be adding to a remake of this game. You can bet your bottom dollar. You can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to be adding things to this remake that are not good. Like, for instance, stuff like a turn wheel, casual modes, things that are not necessary in Fire Emblem. They're not. They defeat the purpose of Fire Emblem. They defeat the purpose of the weight of losing your characters and of decision making. With that being said, we're escaping and moving onward. And so the Empire's retaliation begins. There's nothing more we can do. We should retreat to the castle. Augustus, this is all my fault. It's like I killed Dorius myself. You don't have the luxury of wallowing in regret. Not now. There will be a time to atone to Duke Dorius after you've defended Leonster. Summon all your patience and discipline. You'll need it for what lies ahead. You're right. Come now, I do bring some good news. I've heard multiple reports that a large rebellion is taking place in the eastern reaches of Isaac. They seem to be putting up a good fight against the Empire, by all accounts. Do you know who their leader is? If the rebellion is in Isaac, couldn't it be Prince Shannon? Finn told me about him. He has the most gifted sword arm in all the world, and he's beloved by his people. In short, he's a far greater man than I. Of course, Prince Shannon is with the rebels, but their leader is someone else. That being? Lord Seliph of House Chalfie. The people of Isaac and Granville alike hail him as the Scion of Light. Lord Seliph? Can this be true? I believe it is, and his father, Lord Sigurd, was your uncle. The Crusader Sigurd. As recently as a decade ago, he was reviled as a traitor, but nowadays he's a popular folk hero. He saw through the Emperor's schemes from the beginning, and died trying to protect the world from his machinations. Bard spread his tale across the land, and it captivated the hearts of every man, woman, and child suffering under the Empire's rule. And so he's become more legend than man. Now, the child of that legend is fighting to realize his father's dream. The people feel hope once again, and blinded by that hope, they wouldn't hesitate to die for his cause. This is a bounty from God. We couldn't have crafted a more perfect opportunity ourselves. What exactly are you saying? I'm saying there's a reason so many people are ready to die for Lord Seliph. It's not just because he's a strong warrior. Our era demands a hero. The people clamor for one, and so, someone has crafted Lord Seliph to be their hero. Forged him, if you will, in much the same way one forges metal into a blade, taking a man and sculpting him into what the people need. Do you understand? No one chooses to become a hero. They're willed into a hero by the people, around them, shaped by the needs of others. Augustus, does that mean the people in my life crafted me to be what they needed too? You'll have to come to your own conclusions on the matter. Though I will say this, recall that Duke Dorius lost an arm protecting you, and now he's traded his life for yours. Have you ever stopped to wonder why he did that? Why do so many people keep sacrificing themselves for you? Why do so many hail you as a hero? Think on that, and think well. The prince has ordered that he be not disturbed for the time being. You may state your business to me instead. Oh, well, we fled from Ulster, you see. The Imperials were but on our trail when your army arrived up to help us. We just wanted to give you the prince this master seal as a way of saying thanks. Leave it with me. I'll deliver it to the prince and convey your gratitude. All right, thank you. And of course, I'm going to appreciate every ounce of gear that we get. Half a year has passed. The army of House Frege, led by Bharat, has waged a relentless onslaught against Leonster, seeking to recapture the castle. Leif's liberation army has fought well, but has been gradually worn down and forced into a small corner of the castle with no way out. Everyone could see it was only a matter of time until Castle Leonster fell. This is an incredibly interesting chapter. Not only do we have a supposed town up here we could visit, an arena, and I do believe this is one of, if not the last arena in the game, so keep that in mind. Vendor as well. I don't believe there is an armory of any sorts, so you're stuck with regular armory kind of weapons if you want them. We actually have some prisoners here. Funnily enough, every one of these prisoners has a killing edge, which makes you wonder if Leif is really all that smart with his putting folks in the prison. We do have some chests to open up as well as other things of that nature. All of these doors are going to be opened up by the enemies, as they all have door keys. And there are a lot of reinforcements, including very strong reinforcements like ballista that have incredible attack power and such. There's even mages as well as priests. And the priests specifically, or clerics I think, have items that we definitely want to take. So we're going to be going down here and taking the fight to Bharat, who is an interesting unit. He's a baron and a very strong one of the strongest in this game to be, in fact, with a master axe, a fortify, and he even comes with the Thrude scroll, which is House Frege's scroll. HP, strength, magic, and luck plus 5% and skill plus 10%. He comes with Pavis, Anchor, and Miracle Plus. You cannot KO Bharat. So there is that, but it is only temporary if I'm not mistaken. I think it's after turn 3 or turn 6 you are capable of fighting and KOing him. So you can't just warp somebody in there and defeat him instantaneously. He's going to be giving his 4 authority stars to everybody on his side of the field for quite some time. I also find it kind of interesting that the barons in this game have only a C rank in wind, but an A rank in everything else that the barons have access to, which is interesting. It's almost like they're trying to say that the wind users are good guys just because of said. Very intriguing in my humble opinion. There are no good wind magic users on your team either, except for Asbel, and one we get very much later in the game. And I guess that's part of that too. But all that being said, we're going to go ahead and leave off and allow me to do all my deployment and item management off screen. I'll see you in a moment. Alright, so these are our units that we are bringing into the chapter with specifically all the items we need each individual unit to have. We are bringing some surprises, and Sarah is getting that Master Seal. We're going to go ahead and deploy, however. Chapter 20, The Scion of Light.
How goes the war, Lord Bharat? Ah, Reinhardt, I've been waiting for you. You've brought my reinforcements, I trust.
A battalion is on its way here from Ulster. They should be arriving shortly.
Yes, that should do it. We've already seized most of the castle. These few halls are the rebels' last refuge.
Normally that would be good news, but...
What do you mean? Is something amiss?
The siege has gone on for half a year, yet Leonster still stands. King Bloom is displeased. I don't mean to speak out of turn, especially to one of my elders, but I'd suggest you hurry.
You're not telling me anything I don't already know.
The king's temper worsens by the day. The loss of Prince Ishtor at Fort Mergen has been taking its toll on him.
What of the Izakian rebels?
I hear they've already crossed the border into the Thracian peninsula. But they're not entering unopposed. Kohen and the 26th Division, Banba and her sisters, as well as Lady Tinny and her unit of mages are all moving in to intercept them. Still, the rebels were able to best Lady Lisa. I fear the coming battle will be a most arduous one indeed.
And what does His Highness himself intend to do?
I believe the king plans to personally take command of the troops at Ulster. Should the Izakian rebels break through to the city, I imagine he'll send for you. But if Leonster should still remain in enemy hands by that time, your future will be most uncertain.
Very well, you've made yourself clear.
Then I must be returning to Connaught, if you'll excuse me.
You, get over here. Yes, sir. Send word to all the troops. We're launching an all-out assault on Castle Leonster. There will be no retreat. Fight with all your soul if you want to live. At once, sir.
The enemy has begun their assault, Prince Leaf. Can we mount a defense? I've already ordered as much. Everyone that can stand upright is fortifying the castle. If we fall here, we have nowhere to run. We've done quite well against such an enormous army, considering everything. Holding out for half a year, under siege. But we'll reach our limit before long. Bah! You've become overfond of such feeble whining. It's unseemly for a prince of your stature. If you're not willing to fight to the last breath, you're betraying the memory of all who have sacrificed themselves to get us this far. Don't forget the bigger picture. We're keeping the bulk of the enemy's forces busy here, which frees Selef's army to march through Thracia unimpeded. You mustn't give up before we're able to merge our forces. I'm sorry, Augustus, I know. And I do want to meet Lord Selef myself, but how else do you expect me to feel having to watch our soldiers die one by one? If it pains you so, that's all the more reason to honor their memory by fighting to the last man. I do have to agree with Augustus here. Of course, we are going to be opening up some doors here. I am going to be using Leaf to guard the throne room, and Tina and Shroff are going to stay with Leaf for potential healing of our teammates as well. For the time being, we're just going to be moving all of our units as best as we can, where we need all of them to go. So it's just as if we are fully ready for the fight itself. Interestingly enough, we don't have to really worry about opening up any of the doors of this chapter, because the enemy units are going to do that for us, which is pretty good. Imelda, very nice. You didn't need that movement star, but I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and open up this door, and that is our turn. We do not want to open up the door to the throne room quite yet, because that will make it so that the knights will not open up everything that needs to be opened up as soon as we need it to be opened up. So that's something we just have to keep in mind here. Wow, no movement star on you, Pern. Very interesting. Usually you'd give us like 32 movement stars by this point. Oh yeah, not literally, but might as well be. So whoever you end up using to fight off these... Oh, cool. We get to open this chest. And we got ourselves another Master Seal. That will probably be going to Finn. He's one of our last units we need to promote. There's not too many others that we need to promote, that being said. Alright. Amalda's a fantastic unit with that flame sword. I wish she had a higher rank in staves, because if she did, if she had like a B rank or an A rank in staves, she could easily wield the flame sword, get that +5 magic, and then take an ensorcel, and she'd have 25 magic at her current magic stat right now, which is one of the reasons why that's great. But so whoever you use to fight off these soldiers here, these warriors, needs to have the ability to take them on, especially with a scroll. So that's why we have Fergus over there, specifically for that reason. And we're going to end our turn yet again. All right, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to bid our farewells and cut this episode short. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.